Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and in this video I want to talk about unlisted moves in Mortal Kombat 11. So, being unlisted, these are effectively hidden moves, as they basically, you would not know they existed unless someone told you, and hey, well, that's the point of this video, right? Now, Mortal Kombat 11 has been getting a little bit better about this, so I have Kollector here picked for a reason. So, Tequani Mall, which is the Jaguar move here, says you can amplify it. Only after the most recent patch has this actually shown up in the move list. So before, you could always amplify this move, and by the way, if you don't know, amplifying it just makes it do a little bit more damage, also immune to projectiles. But until the most recent patch, it never stated that you could actually amplify it, right? So if you didn't already know you could amplify it, well then the move list wasn't going to tell you, right? So I'm going to be going over 5 examples in Mortal Kombat 11 of moves that are simply not to be found in the move list and might be kind of important to know. Now for Kano, here's one. It is unfortunately in this little bit less popular competitive variation, but still it's something to talk about, and that's the Kano Ball. So everyone remembers the Kano Ball. It's been around literally since Mortal Kombat 1, and a lot of revisions in the game you could do an upwards version, however not in Mortal Kombat 11. Unless... So if we go into Vegemite, that's his buff here. That is just simply down down X. On top of the usual buff stuff it gives you here, like it makes Kano Ball do a smidge more damage, also makes it armored. It actually gives you Up Ball. Now, where on the world in the move list is Up Ball? Because you can see here Black Dragon Ball, and it ain't there. Air Black Dragon Ball? No, that's not it, because that's the air one going down. So where in the world is the Up Ball? Well, the Up Ball is done only in the buff, and just hold up while you're doing the Kano Ball. It's really quite that simple. So while you're in the Vegemite buff, you now have access to the Up Ball. Now, once you do it, you will lose the buff, and your ability to do it will go away. You have to be in the buff to do it, and this is simply an unlisted move. And just like the ground version, it also has armor as well, so it makes it a lot more threatening as an aerial attack, or rather an anti-air, that is. But yeah, so this is an example of unlisted moves. So you have to be in Vegemite, and then just do your Kano Ball and hold up while you're doing it, and that's all there is to it. Now, with keeping with Kano here, our second move here is not so much the move itself being unlisted, but an unlisted critical property of the move. So for this one, we are leaving the competitive variations. Now, I normally know on this channel we only do competitive variations, but still, it's unlisted, it's a big deal, so hey, I think it fits the bill for this video. And that is the biomagnetic pull. So once again, this is not a tournament competitive variation yet. They did say they'll be adding more variations in time, right? So as for the move itself here, it biomagnetically pulls you in, so works as advertised, right? If you just do it by itself, it leaves you slight advantage in the face, and if you exit, you get a bit of restand, so you can do a little combo like this here. And it's nowhere near an optimal combo, but just to show you, right? So one of the things here, and this is the big deal, so the unlisted feature of this move that, is not stated anywhere here in this text here, is you can special cancel this move after you've already special canceled another move. So if I go like 1-1 knife toss, right? Is my move over? Like you'd think it is, right? But no, I can go 1-1 knife toss into biomagnetic pull here. So I can get my knife toss and have them be right in front of my face and be plus in front of it. Like, it's pretty crazy. Say if you do it by itself, you kind of got to be close, but still, it's the thing. Now you might have noticed, to do this, it does take a bar. It takes one of your offensive bars. But still, you can go like back one, which is like kind of a retreating normal here, into knife toss. If you see it hit, you can get a full combo from that. So if you do knife toss into biomagnetic pull and then you exit and get the reset and you can recombo, it'll take both your bars, right? But still, it's an option you have from a retreating normal here, meant to gain space. You can cancel into that, which makes it pretty safe, honestly. And then you can just go for crazy and just go for a combo. Once again, nowhere near optimal, just playing around, right? But yeah, so this is an unlisted feature of the move, which is kind of a big deal. Moving on to Erron Black. So Erron Black has unlisted property here in his gun stance, which is kind of a big deal. Gun stance a fairly important thing to Erron Black. And that has to do with this. So say if you do a move in your gun stance, right? Well, hit to stand 2, right? And we do that launcher there, and then we're done, right? Or we can do stand 3, or, just whatever, right? Like, if you do one of these melee-based moves here, your turn with the gun's over, and you can go from there, right? And, of course, with the launcher, you can get all sorts of combos and all that kind of fun stuff, right? But one of the big things is this. And so I do that, and I just remain in gun stance. How did I do that? Well, all you have to do after hitting a move like this is just hold up, and you will remain in the gun stance. So once again here, we looked at locked and bloated. There's no text here. Cancel, shots, all that kind of stuff. None of this states this fact. And you can actually get very specific corner combos with this in mind in the corner, I suppose. But yeah, so you can keep the gun stance while you're holding up on the button. And that can be a big deal. So if you don't hold up, you won't stay in the stance. If you do hold up, then you stay in the stance. And this also works for, say, the down 3 move here, the big old launching overhead, that kind of stuff. It's a kind of a big deal, and it's not listed anywhere in the move list. So if you didn't already know, well, hey, I guess now you know. Now, for Skarlet, this one's not as big of a deal as, say, the last one with Erron Black, but still, it's interesting to know because it is unlisted moves. And that has to do with her teleport. So you know this guy here, and we'll just go into move list really quick here. So if you're talking about her teleport, what options do we have here? So we have Bloodport, Bloodport in front, and Bloodport behind. So the regular old Bloodport, doing no directions here, it'll take me to the other side of the enemy no matter where I am on the screen, right? If I do Bloodport in front, that's holding back while you're doing it. It'll take me to the front of the enemy, no matter where they are. So if I'm right beside them, I'll stay in place. You know, if I'm a little bit further back, it'll still bring me to them. And if I hold towards the enemy here, I will teleport to the other side and further away than the usual down up, right? But then we have this. So there is an option to teleport in place, and it's simply hitting down up, like the regular teleport, and then just hitting down. Once again here, not to be found on the move list here, but it is there. So if you're looking for a fake out or something like that, if you know, they're very used to you teleporting or something, this is an easy way to do a nice little fake out, and from there you can kind of just go for whatever. Now keep in mind, just like all these other special teleports here, it does take a defensive bar. So you can't just do it willy-nilly forever. Only the regular teleport, no fancy stuff, takes no defensive bar. But still, yeah, so just once again here, just down up for the regular teleport, and then hold down immediately, and you'll teleport in place. Now for Kollector, there is an interaction with 2 of his moves that is not mentioned at all on the move list, which is not the biggest deal, but it is still something to know. So it has to do with the Vial of Sorrow and the Bag Bomb. So Vial of Sorrow is the puddle DOT here, and the Bag Bomb is the little grenade. So if you manage to launch that grenade into the Vial of Sorrow, you will actually get a pop-up explosion, as you can see right there. So if it hits the enemy, as you see here, you get a big old launch, and you get a big combo from this as well. It's hard to manually set up sometimes. You know, someone put some time to Kollector, I know that more than most. But a lot of times when you get it, honestly, brutally honestly, it'll be a happy accident, right? But if you don't know Kollector, you probably didn't even know this exists. But yeah, so it's a nice little, you know, unlisted interaction here. Because once again, nowhere in here does it state these 2 moves interact in this way, right? So if you can aim for it, then awesome. Once again, it's a little difficult. Because sometimes right here, if you hit the enemy with the grenade before it touches the ground, then just nothing happens, right? So you have to be able to hit the puddle. Now, there are frames where you can hit the enemy and the puddle at the same time. That's awesome. But yeah, play around with that if you want, I guess. But yeah, so that's another unlisted kind of functionality the character has. So yes, that's just some of the moves and the unlisted move properties the game has. Now, once again, patches are rectifying this issue. The Kollector example I used at the very start of the video works now. It's in the move list now, and it wasn't when the game launched, right? So I can only hope a lot more of these odds and ends are fixed up, at least just notified in the move list, so you, the player, can know, versus me having a video like this telling you what's up, right? So I'll leave you with one bonus one. It's certainly a listed move right here, and that is his Bola. That's this guy right here. We're using Kollector, obviously, here. And it's not that it's unlisted, but maybe an unintentional property that just looking at the move doesn't tell you makes it quite useful. And that's this. So the Bola is 2 parts. The part where it connects and the part where he kind of raises his fist and does a little magic thing. And this move actually gets better if you get hit out of it. So here we have Jade set to toss her boomerang. So what I'm going to do here is I want to trade my bola with her boomerang. And wouldn't you know it, hey, she's stuck in place. And this is very similar to the EX version. In fact, it's kind of identical to the EX version. So I don't get my full damage to be sure. I only get the first initial hit, which is 4%. But at that point, with the trade, I now have basically a free EX bola, and I can get a full combo from that. As you can see there, now it's obviously the most damaging combo in the world, right? Because you can't do a second bola because it'll just bounce off. But still, like, that kind of thing you need to keep in mind too. Even when the move's obviously listed clear as day in there, it doesn't tell you stuff like sometimes you want this move to trade, right? That's kind of stuff you got to figure out for yourself. But yeah, so that's obviously just a small example here, and it's not one of the mainline examples, but just to give you an idea, right? And the other variation too, you can toss the DOT puddle for free if you trade. And do some other stuff. But yeah, so there's a lot of depth to this game. Even if it's the unlisted moves and you gotta find it yourself, that sucks. But even stuff like that, you know, learning that your best way to use bola is to take the hit so you get the better version of bola because it comes the X version for free. That's kind of stuff you gotta play with. Anyways, I guess I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, so for the unlisted moves, if you didn't know them, happy you know them now. And hey, if you know some unlisted moves that I don't know and it wasn't in this video, by all means, please tell me. Put them in the comments below, right? Anyways, that is it for this video, so thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.